Welcome to episode 101. What does a secure person do when an avoidant pulls away? So, we talk about anxious reactions versus a secure reaction. Let's talk about the moment when your partner pulls away. They cancel a plan last minute, or a date, or they suddenly go quiet. What would you do as an anxious person, and what would someone do who has a secure attachment style? Because I used to be anxiously attached for 30 plus years. I created an earned secure attachment style. I know the exact difference between how I used to think and feel and react to that situation and how I now show up differently if my avoidant partner would still do this. And if you have especially an anxious attachment style, you know that thinking feeling of, wait, did I do something wrong? If you have an anxious attachment style, these moments, they don't just sting, they really send your nervous system into this whole panic mode. The secure you that is already inside of you, the more you visualize showing up as your secure best version of yourself, the more you're actually practicing it, becoming her, first in your thoughts and then in your aligned actions. If you can imagine it, you can become it. Because your brain doesn't know the difference between imagined and between what's actually real. So when you picture yourself responding securely, calmly, and that you are loved and that you are safe, you are rewiring your brain, becoming that version more and more. It's literally like learning a new language. When I learned English, the more I thought about the new words, I learned it automatically. And then when you say it out loud, it helps even more. If you then write it out as well, it helps even more. And it's the same with like becoming securely attached. The more you rehearse it in your brain and then later take aligned action steps with it. And these action steps can be very small, like just like taking one deep breath before you first reach out for reassurance. And the more you do this, later on, you don't need as much reassurance from your partner anymore. Spacing out the time before you send the second follow-up text to the person you're dating or to your partner even. Choosing to self-soothe before you completely go into a full-blown overthinking spiral. And these are micro shifts, but they really compound and they rewire you to become your most secure version over time. So if you're new here, I'm Yula. I'm the Anxious to Secure coach, and welcome to the Anxious to Secure podcast. Let's dive into scenario number 1. Disclaimer, I'm not a therapist or doctor. This content is for informational and entertainment purposes only. It's not intended to diagnose, treat, or heal any mental health condition. If you're in an abusive relationship or dealing with severe mental health challenges, always seek professional advice. How would you react in the situation? How would your best, most secure self would react? So imagine the first scenario is where they cancel plans last minute. You've been with Tom for a few months now. Not brand new, but not really long committed either. You are in this in-between stage where things feel still new, but starting to feel really, really real. And in your mind, you were already married 5 months ago. But anyway, there's still no ring, still no kids, still no shared apartment, even though you would really love to move in with him. But again, you're trying to act slow and you're trying to take things easy. And you've had many consistent dates so far. Tom texts you good morning on most days, and you talked about your future plans as well casually, weekend trips, movies you want to watch, dinners you want to try, all of these things. Great. It feels good. It feels promising. And tonight, you were supposed to see each other. You shaved your legs and everything else. You showered completely, prepared. You picked an outfit, very cute. You even bought a new dress. Your phone starts to buzz and you're like, oh my God, maybe he's going to send me a cute text or a cute selfie of how it's going to look like, that's saying that he's excited for this date. But then he says, sorry, I have to cancel tonight. Something came up. So your brain turns into this whole crime scene investigation. And that's exactly what anxious attachment does. You're like, wait, what? Why last minute? Did something change? Did someone change his mind? Did I do something wrong? Like, are they pulling away from me? Am I not funny or interesting enough anymore? Are they prioritizing someone else over me? What the heck is going on? And you've had your hopes up so much. You're really over prepared for this dinner. You even maybe checked what you're going to say to him. You over prepared what you're going to say, what is cute, what is very playful. And you check the messages now 3 times. You reread into your last conversations to see if you maybe sound weird, if their vibe is maybe off and you're missing something. You go onto his social media, if you see any new pictures, if you see any girls in the background of Tom's social media. You consider texting back so fast to not lose this connection. But then you pull back and think, like, wait, what are you going to say to not come across as too much or too needy? You feel the urge to fix this vibe immediately. And you take it very personally because it hits so hard of this, I'm not chosen again. If plans get cancelled, maybe the relationship is getting cancelled too. And this is never really about the date, right? It's not about being cancelled here. It's about your nervous system screaming, don't leave me. When I get closed, I get abandoned here. It's never really about the date. It's about the fear of being left. It's your nervous system screaming, here we go. I'm not a priority. I don't matter. I will be left. I will be abandoned. I am not safe. I can't bear the thought of me being on my own, being rejected and abandoned. And here is what the secure version of yourself would do, what it looks like. So you might think, you know what, I missed a connection, and that's really a bummer that it didn't work out. I already dressed up, I prepared myself, but okay. I'm already dressed up anyway. Maybe I'm going to go out for drinks with my friends. Let me text them. Or I'm just going to go out, grab a bottle of wine, go in and just, be cute by myself. You basically allow yourself to process the frustration, being annoyed, but you don't take it personal. Maybe you're saying to yourself, maybe they just needed time to process. Maybe something else came up. And I will just wait and see if this is a pattern or if it's just a one-off as well. So you know that trust is earned and you're just going to give them the benefit of the doubt. Again, there was nothing major that happened so far that would let you think otherwise. You don't have to play unbothered or be unbothered. You can feel the pain or the frustration or the sting, feel it, process the emotion, but then you don't have to overread into the situation. You don't have to scroll through the text and overanalyze. You can also still have a good time in that evening. You can focus on you, have a nice evening, and focus on yourself. Of course, all of this dressing up and over planning, this wouldn't even happen with the secure you of yourself either. You would dress up and make yourself cute, but you wouldn't plan what you're going to say on that date or how to be mysterious, or you wouldn't have these huge expectations. There would be maybe expectations and you would have fun and you would be excited, but not to the level and to the extent that the anxious you would show up to this scenario. The secure version of you knows trust is earned, and so far what you've seen was good. There was no major red flag, there were consistencies, and that was the first time Tom cancelled. So you trust Tom so far because so far there was nothing wrong, and even more important, you trust yourself. You trust yourself to handle any disappointment should they show up. Should this now turn into a pattern, you got yourself, you've got your life, you've got your habits, you've got your friends, you've got your ways to soothe yourself, to take care of your emotions, and to be there for yourself. Should Tom turn out to be a jerk. Okay, scenario number 2 is William goes quiet after a very affectionate, intimate weekend. You and William is your partner, right? Your avoidant partner just had this really close, intimate, very romantic weekend. You spent 2 full days together. Slow mornings, cuddling in bed. Maybe he made you coffee and brought it over to you, and you were still cuddling, kissing, went for long walks and inside jokes. You shared many stories. You connected over talks, over walks, over activities. You slept over. Maybe the cuddles were extra sweet and he opened up a little bit more emotionally than usual. And it just felt so different. You felt so close after this weekend with William. I can't stop thinking about him. Who is he? And you're like, I wish I could spend every day with him like this. And then Monday happens. You're, expecting texts from him, and you would just keep up this amount of affection and intimacy every day from now on. And suddenly, nothing. No text, no check-ins, no future plans for next dates when you're going to see each other, or check-ins about, how the weekend was, just to reaffirm how amazing it was. He goes quiet. And you're like, okay, wait a second, was this all in my head? And maybe, you are texting with each other, but much slower. Maybe he's much shorter in the way he texts. Maybe he's just, liking one of your pictures on social media instead of like fully supporting all of your stories and sending you selfies. And you were like, okay, that feels different. There's an energy shift. The vibe wasn't as warm and playful as it was just 48 hours ago. Was I imagining everything? Like, is he playing with me? Am I just one of many for him? And it's literally panic city. And here is what anxious attachment does. You think like, see, I knew it. There are no good guys out there. And you're already pulling away and detaching internally. You're like, okay, it's all about me. I said too much. I shouldn't have shared this story about my past, or, I shouldn't have laughed in my natural quirky way, or snorted, or I don't know. I was too vulnerable. They probably realized they don't really want this. They don't want me. I ruined everything by not being pretty enough, or, I should have done a bigger diet and I should have lost more kilos or something like this. And you stare at your phone, you keep checking Instagram stories again, you rehearse what you want to text and say. You open ChatGPT and ask for the exact phrases over and over again because you're not happy with what it presents to you. And you replay the moments from the weekend again in your head. It's like, what was the moment where you thought everything was amazing, but maybe he didn't have as much of a good time as you thought he did? You assume closeness maybe scared him, and when actually it scared you. And your fear is actually telling you, when I get close to William and to people, I will get abandoned again. Your body goes into full alert mode, like you have to fix something right now between you and William. You have to fix it right now. You have to text, you have to check in on him. You have to be hyper vigilant and check in on him, what's going on, to ensure he doesn't slip away from you, that you don't lose the connection, that you don't lose the safety. And here is what a secure partner would do, what the secure version of you would do in this situation. So take a deep breath in. The secure you would notice maybe the shift if he pulls away, if he isn't as active anymore in the chat with you. Because why not? Because you're not oblivious. You're not pretending nothing has changed. Secure you might think, they're a bit quieter today. Okay, I miss the vibe from the weekend. I would love to keep it up. But people process closeness differently. Maybe they're extremely busy at work, okay? You remind yourself this isn't a pattern. It's just a moment. So far, everything was good. What you don't do is you don't stalk their social medias, send 3 texts in a row, or plan exactly what to say or what not to say. You don't doubt yourself or the relationship or yourself. You don't assume danger. You don't twist into proofs something is wrong, and you don't chase their reassurance. Secure you knows. Some people need space after more emotional closeness, and that's okay. That has nothing to do with you. You're still safe. You're still okay. Maybe they're tired. Maybe they're back at work. Maybe they're just stressed. Maybe they're just resetting after the weekend, and there's no problem with any of this. Secure you would also think, I'll give them a day. If it continues, I'll check in gently. No pressure. I don't have to be resentful. I don't have to be anxious. I don't have to spiral into all of the negative what ifs. And if I do check in, secure you says something like, you know what? Hey, I miss you a bit today. Everything okay on your end? That's it. Simple, easy, straightforward, no overthinking. You can still express your feelings. You can still express what you think in that moment. Warm, no pressure. And secure you isn't scared of relationship falling apart because secure you trust. If something is actually wrong, I can handle it. You also know there's a big difference between space and being abandoned. If not this, then something else. If not now, then another time. And I want to give you another example. Let's say they are distant during a hard week. You've been with your partner for a while now. Long-term commitment, real-life relationship. Normally they text you during the day and a little check-in, or mostly you check in first and they will reply within a reasonable amount of time. May this be half an hour or 1 hour depending on their workload. A meme or a quick photo of your dog or something like this. But this week, crickets. They're quieter, they're shorter, they're not initiating, they're not responding. Not much there. So what are you going to think? What are you going to do if you have an anxious attachment style is, oh my God, what the hell is going on? Why are they pulling back? Why the huge shift? Did I messing? You always think there's something wrong with you because you have the core belief of I'm not good enough, other people are good. So you think, did I do something wrong? Are they going to leave me? Did they find someone else? Are they tired of me? Do they have a new colleague at work? Am I boring? What is going on, right? You reread old messages, overthink their tone, and feel a little stomach drop every time when you notice a new shift, a new thing that proves your old belief that there's something wrong. He changed his password on his phone, or he's just even more grumpier when he comes back from work, or he stays a little bit longer at work than usual. So, secure you. What would secure you do? You might think, okay, they're really quiet this week. I know they usually get like this when they're very stressed. It's not about me. I can check in without overthinking, without already jumping 10 steps ahead, without only focusing on the worst case scenario. Like, you support them without making it your lifeline. You stay grounded. You can give them space and also stay connected. You can say something like, hey, love, is everything okay? I can sense you're a little bit off this week. I'm here for you just if you want to talk. And if they're avoidant, they probably don't want to talk. They're probably going to say, hey, I'm stressed at work, and that's it. And a secure you can detach from it. You don't have to fix him or fix his mood just so you can feel safe. You can detach and focus on your work, on your hobbies. And of course, you're worried about him. You're human after all. But you don't have to overly step and cross boundaries just so you can fix the situation, fix his mood, because he is an adult. He can take care of his own emotions, and he needs to learn to ask for help if he really wants it. You're just going to push him further away if you more hother and smother and try to change how he feels. Stay open rather than panicked. You trust your relationship and what is presented to you at that time. Communication is key, so you speak up and listen and don't assume the worst. Last scenario is, I think, very important as well for the bigger picture because it always can happen. Let's call him the long-term pull-away boyfriend. So you've been together for months, maybe a couple of years, very committed, right? You're very deep into this. You imagined a wedding together. You're going to have kids eventually, probably, hopefully. And you shared routines, very deep, intimate, personal moments and supported each other. You've probably experienced rough moments together and you bonded there. You're always doing little check-ins together, having cozy weekends. You know probably the other person more than they know themselves by now. But lately, something is off. And that's been for a while now. Let's say this has been a few weeks now. Texts are shorter during the day, calls are more skipped, plans are getting pushed out a bit more. A quiet wall has slowly creeped up between the two of you. And the conversations have been also less engaging, and your partner has been more avoidant over time. Okay, it's not the honeymoon phase anymore, let's face it. But again, old nervous system alarm goes off and it's like, hey, they're pulling away, they're going to leave me behind, we're never going to get married, or if I'm going to get married, is this really the person I want? What's going on? And you're anxious, you things like, did I do something wrong again? You take it personal. You think you need to fix this, you need to communicate about this, you need to try to change him, the way he shows up, and you are activated and you try to text more, call more, try to get him to step it up. You research about how to make an avoidant chase you and all of these things. And you already imagine him breaking up with you and you are panicking and reinforcing the scenarios. And you worry about, if this keeps up, maybe it's over. Maybe we're never going to get married. Maybe it's really about me, okay? Or maybe you're giving up hope in relationships all together. Now, here are different scenarios how a secure person would handle this scenario, and that's really important. It's not just one scenario, it depends also on how your partner actually responds. Okay, let's take a deep breath. I'm gonna get my cozy cover around me. It's getting winter, Christmassy, my favorite season of the year. So let's get into the cozy vibes. Okay, this is what your secure version would do. Let's say you would see the situation and you would say, okay, I see the distance. I notice the pullback. I'm okay. I'm safe. I can breathe. I ground myself. You have tools and you have routines and you're going to continue using them to release your anxiety. And you're going to check the facts versus your fears in the situation. And you might also test the waters. Hey, I notice you've been a bit distant lately. Is everything okay? So you check in. Communication is key here. Now, here's the difference of how a securely attached you would show up. If they say, I'm fine, I just need space, you respect it. You don't chase, you don't try to fix it, you don't hyper vigilantly hustle around him, you don't micromanage. You focus on your life, your hobbies, and pour into yourself and your friends and your work, and you're full without needing them to fulfill you. Okay, you're your own anchor. If they say, you know what, I'm stressed, I had a rough patch, the last weeks or months have been really hard on me. He probably won't go into detail. He's probably going to say something very short. You're going to say something like, okay, can I ask you one thing? Is there anything I can help with? You're just offering support. You're offering help without overstepping it. And they might say something like, nope, I'm good. And if they don't want your help, drop it, okay? Don't try to convince him, to try to change his mind. You keep asking and asking, hey, why not? Drop it. Don't perform. No trying to fix him or fix the situation. Talk about the difference between this being a temporary state versus an ongoing state. So if this is a short-term stress thing, let's say work deadlines, private issues in his family, I don't know, diet problems, health problems, life can be a chaos at times. They'll come back and you will rekindle and it will be okay again unless you chase and force it and fix it, right? So be patient. You give space, you stay grounded, and you watch the needle move. Eventually it will come back and balance each other out. If this stretches into more weeks and then months and really nothing has changed, you communicate it, okay? You don't want to stay in this for another 4 months, another 6 months, another year. For sure not. You want to give him a chance to be able to show up before you walk away. So if it's going to continue and the needle is not moving, nothing is changing, you're going to communicate again. But with self-respect and from a way of you are okay by yourself, you're going to detach slightly. That's your cue. If nothing is changing and you've communicated, you've put yourself first, you didn't chase, you didn't cross boundaries, that's your cue to walk away. And by the way, if you're showing up as your most secure version, you're actually avoiding that the avoidant is getting triggered. So they pull away less and you're more steady and calm and full and you don't cross their boundaries. Anxious person who is crossing the boundaries, who always wants to be around the avoidant, who maybe blames and uses criticism a lot, and it's really overthinking and puts all their energy and focus on the avoidant, they feel more triggered. They need more space. They pull away more. So it's really that you have to focus on you, on your anxiety, that will both benefit you, the avoidant partner and you especially. And you have to put yourself first. The solution is not your partner. They're not the knight in shining armor who comes and saves you and your emotions. You have to take care of your emotions first. So stay grounded, set boundaries, communicate clearly, and see if this is a temporary thing or an ongoing long-term thing. And by the way, let's talk quickly about what's actually happening underneath everything. So it's not just that secure people are more chill or more cool. It's actually that they trust themselves. They trust the facts in front of them. They trust the consistency in the relationship as well. And most of all, they trust that if a pattern shows up unsafe or inconsistent, they'll know how to handle it. Plus, they also don't play detective, watching their partner, spying on them, watching their every tone, their words they're using, the emoji they've been using on WhatsApp, reading into every single detail. They don't act like psychics, like trying to predict the future. What happened when they cancel dinner with you, when they go a little bit quieter, pull away a little bit more, when not everything is going as planned. They see the bigger picture too and allow the person to be who they are without trying to change them. They know the other person might have different reactions, different love languages, different ways to regulate their stress in dealing with work and life in general. They don't take it personal. They also come to the relationship as a whole identity. So they're able to still feel fulfilled and loved as themselves and then get into the relationship, and they keep their hobbies and they know how to self-soothe and they know how to engage and plan dates, but then they're also able to plan a date for themselves. And if there is conflict, they don't take it personal because they already know how to self-soothe and communicate and all of this, right? So they don't go into the relationship thinking the relationship is everything for them. They don't just see a red flag and immediately brace themselves for the worst case scenario. Secure attachment doesn't mean you're tolerating everything. It means you wait for the facts, and if the facts don't feel good, you set boundaries, you speak up, you get curious and try to understand more, and you can always walk away. There are no fears or abandonment fears and wounds that keep you from walking away. You don't cling out of fear, and you stay or leave from self-trust. And anxious attachment is a whole different world. You don't trust the present moment. You project the past onto the present and just think into the future, the worst case future. You don't just feel hurt. You make the hurt mean something really bad about your own worth. Like, I'm not enough. I'm too much. They're pulling away because I have ruined it, because there's something wrong with me. I better have to fix this, I need to fix this so I won't lose the connection, because that would be the worst thing in the world, because I can't be by myself. And then you attach to the story, to the meaning, to, when they do something, rather to the truth, to the facts. And I say this with so much love. It's not because there's something wrong with you, because it's actually true what you believe. You are good enough, you are worthy of love, and you don't have to prove it. It's more like your nervous system got wired for survival and not safety. It doesn't care about your happiness. So now what can you do instead? So if your partner pulls away, you feel that full body panic rise up. And here's what's also healing. It starts with first, the 4R method is releasing your emotions. So we can't rewire anxious attachment thoughts until your body feels safe. You have to feel it to heal it. So I have a video on my 3-step formula on how to process your emotions that I teach my clients. That's in short, basically you want to name the feeling, like I feel anxious, I feel rejected, I feel not important. If you name it, it doesn't control you. Once you say it out loud, you create space between you and the feeling. Allow it. Allow the feeling to be there. Welcome it like a friend, because if you think the emotion is bad, you resist it, and then it takes control over you. And then you want to describe it. Describe it with curiosity. Emotion is just energy in motion. So what does it feel like in your body? Is it a tight chest, racing thoughts, feeling nausea, you're feeling numb? Is the emotion like moving up and down? Is it like activating or is it deactivated? It's slowing down. Just observe it like you are a researcher, not knowing what an emotion is. Because then it's no longer trapping you. And then the last step is you can move it. Let it move through you. You can scream into a pillow if you feel like the emotion is in your throat. You can crack it out. You can go for a walk. You can stretch. You can just do breath work. You can just shake yourself off. You can just release it, move it, however you notice okay, this is what the emotion needs from me right now. And you don't act it out. You don't have to act out anger in front of people, but you do this for yourself. It's not perfection. It's not perfection. It's not never getting triggered. It's like I can hold myself when I'm scared. I can wait for the facts versus the fears. I can speak up and set boundaries and also walk away if I need to, because I can trust I can handle being alone and feeling the emotion and also getting help. So if your partner has ever pulled away or were more distant from you, this episode is just a reminder that spiral is a symptom and not your identity. You don't have to fix this overnight, but you can start showing your nervous system a new way to respond. The more you visualize how a secure you would show up in anxious moments, the more you can become her or him or them. One where space doesn't mean danger, or where your needs don't make you feel like you're too much or not good enough, and where you feel grounded, are allowed to feel uncertain as well, and where you feel still safe. And if this episode helped, please share it with a friend or share it for later so you can go back to this at any time. You can email me to share any personal stories. I would love to hear from you, or if you want to get coached by me as well. Email me. If you don't know where my email address is, I think it should be linked somewhere. Otherwise, on my attachment library, there are lots of free resources in there where you can jump on my email list and reply to any of these emails. You get in contact with me directly and I can read them and I respond to you only. So again, should you like to get into more support with your anxious attachment style, create mini goals, or actually heal your anxious attachment style, I offer monthly coaching support. It's flexible. You can cancel any month support either via WhatsApp or one-on-one video calls. Perfect for anyone who needs either quick guidance or really ongoing support. Or if you're ready for a deep dive, I have a 4 or 8 month coaching program as well, where I guide you step by step from anxious to secure attachment. The exact process I followed, the complete transformation for my own attachment style. However, do get in contact with me first, because it's not for everyone and I want to guarantee your success. So ensure to reach out to me first. So you can email me or jump on a free call with me if you're interested in this. Because here's the truth. If you want a secure and healthy relationship, the only way is by becoming securely attached with yourself first. Your relationships impact everything: your anxiety, the way you show up at work, the way you show up with your kids, and the way you just approach life. This work is everything. It's worth the investment, your time investment and money investment and everything else, and the effort you put into this. And if not now, when else? Don't wait for your partner to change, because it's not about them, it's about you. I'm so proud of you for listening to this episode, for already doing the work. Thank you so much for being here. And again, change in your relationship starts with you, thought by thought, action by action, and now episode by episode. Lots of love, Yula. Bye.